up, party people, and welcome back to my channel. So I'm kind of doing a little Russian roulette with the video topic today. I've got a list of notes on my phone of just nothing but video ideas. Anytime I get an idea, I'll put it there. So I just kind of picked at random a video that I thought would be interesting, and this is what we came up with. Yeah, we're doing a reviewed it, but am I still using it? So yeah, I've got my videos pulled up. I'm just gonna go through my thumbnails and just pick out random products I see in the thumbnails and give you guys an update. Like, am I still using it? Do I still like it, hate it, whatever it may be? So let's do it. First up is the e.l.f. Lash and Roll Mascara. So I really liked this when I first used it. I was pretty impressed with it because I feel like with e.l.f. mascaras, I'm not normally impressed. Like, I feel like e.l.f. is one of those brands that mascaras just aren't their strong suit. It's a very natural, subtle kind of formula. Like, it's not one that gives me the biggest, boldest lashes of all time. Like, it's a very everyday, if I'm not wearing a lot of makeup kind of mascara, you know, it's one of those that's kind of dry. Like, it doesn't build the best. Like, there's not a lot of product that's dispersed on the wand, so it's not great for layering. I mean, it can layer in terms of like it's not gonna get flaky and crumbly, and like it doesn't dry too fast or anything, but because it is more on the dry side, it just doesn't like to build a whole lot. I wouldn't repurchase it or anything. I'm still using it on off days when I don't really care what my makeup looks like, or like I said, if I'm not using a lot of makeup. But yeah, it's just kind of mediocre to me. Next up is the Revlon Skin Caring Illuminance Foundation. So in the original video where I first tried this, I was blown away. Like, it was love at first sight. This is one of those foundations that looked super bougie and expensive and high-end. Like, it definitely looks like there's skincare built into this. Like, it's just a very, very high quality looking formula. You have to find a foundation that compares to this in terms of the finish, the look on the skin. It looks so glossy and glass-like, but not in like an oily, shiny kind of way. But my biggest problem with this is that the wear sucks. Most I would get from this before it started fading and just, you know, all my acne started breaking through was probably about 6 hours, 6 or 7 hours, which to me is not very impressive at all. I could see myself trying this again in the future, like maybe as I get more dry, or maybe if I come across a setting spray or primer that just is more miraculous than what I've already got in my collection. But at this point, like, this did get returned. Again, not because I don't love it, because it does look fantastic on my skin at first, but like, I need longevity. The L'Oreal Telescopic Lift Mascara. Man, this one blew up the internet and then just ghosted everybody. But when I first used this, it definitely was like wow factor status. I was blown away. I was just like, oh my God, like, this is the best mascara I've ever tried. But my qualms with it are that it's inconsistent. Like, there are some days where it flakes and some days that it doesn't. There are some days that it irritates my contacts, and there's some days that it like forms this weird stringy goopiness in like the actual inner part of my eye. It reminds me of what Chandler was talking about with Rachel's boss in that one episode where he's like, she's got this weird mascara goop in the corner of her eye. I've actually got it on right now. I've got it on top of another mascara, which is actually come to be my favorite way to wear this. I've actually come to love this on top of other mascaras that maybe just, they don't quite get it for me. Like, they're not giving everything I need. So I'll put the telescopic lift on top and it just kicks it up like 15 notches. It allows me to use those up while also using this one in a very light way. Like, I'm not using very many layers of this, so it's not doing the weird stringy goopiness in my eye. It's not flaking and stuff. I'm not applying too much of it, but I do still stand by the fact that it's an amazing formula. It definitely gives you that very big, bold look. It does tight line the eye, and it looks really good, but it has its qualms. So this is how I bypass that and also enjoy it. The Maybelline Superstay Hybrid Powder Foundation. This is another one that went viral for a hot minute and just blew up the internet, and I'm not using this one. I actually already returned it, and it looked pretty good on the skin. Like, it was probably one of the best powder foundations I've tried in terms of looking the most skin-like and most natural, but it's a powder foundation, and I don't think there's gonna be a powder foundation that comes out that's gonna compete with the way liquid foundations look. If you're someone that uses liquid concealer and liquid and cream cheek products and, you know, stuff like that, it's really hard to find a way to squeeze in powder foundation with all those things and actually allow those things to show up. I don't know, it's just tricky, and I just don't enjoy the usage of powder foundation. So yeah, to me, like, I'm just never gonna be one of those powder foundation girlies, I don't think. The e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. Man, we are hitting all the viral products here. I do have this in my collection, but I don't think I've used this in months. Like, it's just one of those products that I'm not drawn to skin tints. I'm not drawn to using, you know, like even the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter, like that it's trying to do. Like, I don't even use that one. It's just one of those things where I don't know, I skip that dewy illuminizer step. Like I just go straight to primer or straight to foundation or whatever. I don't really have anything bad to say about it. It's just one of those things that I'm just not drawn to. The Winky Lux People Perfect Concealer. Man, I hate that name so much. So this is another one that kind of went viral for a while. I guess like semi-viral. So I actually did end up returning it after some bad under eye makeup days with it, and just kind of coming to the conclusion that, you know, I was never excited to use it. Like I had it in my collection and just never was really drawn to it. Like I've got others in my collection that I like better. So I don't think it's bad at all. I just feel like it was a little bit too similar slash not as good as others in my collection. So I did return this one. I'm not using this one anymore. The NYX Bear With Me Skin Tint Blurring Foundation. Man, I ended up hating this foundation. I don't think I had one amazing makeup day with this. Like there were so many times I tried this and, you know, like there were some days that it looked better than others. Like it was okay, but I never had a makeup day that I came out of it like just, wow, that was so freaking good. This one had like a thick moussey texture to it. There's some people that say they really like it. I think it's a popular thing amongst super oily skin people. I'm kind of more on the normal side, and this is one that almost every time that I wore this, it emphasized dry texture on my skin. Like if I've got, you know, little scabby blemishes or whatever, it would just sit on those and just crack and look very, very gross. Or it would just grab onto peach fuzz and emphasize every little hair on my face. I don't think the finish was all that pretty. I don't think it's one that played well with others in terms of cream and liquid cheek products and powders and stuff like that. I couldn't really find a tool that I liked best with it. I couldn't find a good combination of products I liked best with it. So this one was a hard take back to the store right now, get it away from me kind of thing. The Essence Cream Blush Sticks. I love these. I actually got me another shade. I've not used it very much, but this formula, there's a couple of bad reviews of it on Amazon or Ulta or wherever, but I truly don't get it because to me, it's one of the most like smooth, creamy, blendable formulas that actually last my skin. It upholds that really pretty, just satin, slightly dewy kind of finish all day long. I'm still using these. I still love these. I wish they had more shades because they're just gorgeous. The Flower Perfect Pout Sculpting Lip Liner. I talked about this way back when in a flower, like an all flower video. I love this. I'm still using this one. The shade that I'm using is, what's the shade name? It's something Taupe. I think it's just Taupe, but I've got this on right now with a lip gloss. It's the perfect, you know, not too over the top, slightly contoured lip look for me. Like it's kind of like a darker brown version of my lips. So it just looks like I've contoured my lips and it's just very natural. It works with majority of lip glosses that I use that are, you know, nudes, pinks. It looks really good with just a clear lip gloss on top. Like it's not too dark for my skin tone and it's not too light, and I think the formula is really nice. So I love this. It's actually one of my favorite lip liners now. Let's talk about a couple of hair tools that I recently reviewed. So the first one is a Revlon One Step Blowout Curler. This is obviously trying to be a dupe for the Dyson Airwrap, as every blow dryer thing is now. But this one, oh man, I had a lot of qualms with this one. It got way too hot. It was very scorching next to my scalp and my face, so that was pretty uncomfortable. But also the style didn't last at all with this. Like this lasted, like I filmed this video, it probably took an hour and a half or two to film, and by the time I got done filming, my hair was just flat and it fallen straight, and yeah, so this was a no for me. The Ion 4-in-1 Auto Wrap Air Styler from Sally's Beauty. This is a little bit more expensive. I think this one was like $120 without a coupon or anything. So definitely a little bit more pricey for a hair tool. But I think that this one has more potential for being an alternative to the Dyson Airwrap. Very pretty effect initially. Again, it did get very, very hot. It was kind of uncomfortable next to my face. I don't recommend having makeup on at all whenever you're doing these. Like it just melts your makeup off, so do this before. But I do remember my style lasting better with this, or at least the volume in the body. But again, with all these blow dryer, like blow dry, curler, hybrid tools like the Dyson, you have to have a certain hair texture and hair type for these to actually last throughout the day, or else you're just wasting your time, and you might as well just blow dry and then go into a curler. But if you have arthritis, or if you know, don't like anything too heavy, this is pretty heavy, so I don't recommend it for you. But you know, if you're looking for an alternative, I would say check this out. Like it's definitely more low-key and under the radar. But you know, if you're someone like me that typically, you know, any kind of blowout doesn't last on you, then I would just say just pass on all of them. I mean, why waste your money? The Revlon Colorstay foundations, they just reformulated the oily skin version and the dry skin version to have different skincare ingredients, but these were very mediocre to me. Like I've always found the Revlon Colorstay foundation to be very bleh. It's one that doesn't really have, you know, the most gorgeous finish. Like the coverage is fine if you don't have a lot to cover up, like if you don't have a lot of acne or anything. But these to me were just like, I returned both of these. They were not products I looked forward to using, and that's a pretty big indicator for me of whether or not, like if my gut's telling me not to use it, I know. Milani Tubing Mascara. This was so clumpy. Like I could not get any kind of separation from this whatsoever. Like it just clumped and pieced my lashes together to where it looked like I had 3 lashes. It was very unflattering, and the formula is so wet. So it was one that I thought would dry out over time to where it would, you know, be a better building formula. But no, it maintains that super wet kind of formula to where it does not, even like with one layer, like you can barely get one full coat out of this because it's so grossly clumpy. Pretty easy to remove with water though, which, you know, that's the thing with most tubing mascaras. You can just remove them with warm water. This one's getting returned. I hated this mascara so much. The NYX Plump Right Back Electrolyte Face Primer. So this is essentially a gripping primer. Like it's got a very similar texture to like the e.l.f. Power Grip, but it's not as sticky and tacky. Like it's got more of like a serum-y feel to it. I usually don't like gripping primers. Like to me, I don't get the result that everyone else gets with, you know, the improved longevity. Like, oh, my makeup lasts 24 hours with this gripping primer. Like to me, I have to use more foundation with them because it's like they're so thick and sticky that I feel like my foundation doesn't spread as well with them. This is one that I trust enough to travel with. Like this is one that seems to work well with every foundation or makeup product that I pair with it. It's not too thick and sticky to where I feel like I have to use 15 layers or 15 pumps of foundation to actually get it to cover my entire face. It really does improve the wear of my makeup and make my skin look more juicy and just more dewy, but not shiny and oily and greasy. So this one's actually a favorite of mine. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end the video here. I don't want this to be too long-winded, but nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful and informative. And if you did, and if you want to see it made into a series, then give us a big old thumbs up. Here's a couple more things for you to check out next. Just venture around the channel, make yourself at home, you know. Subscribe if you're not already, and turn the notification on to always see my stuff. And I will see you guys in the next one. Mwah.